Hello, We by Black family. Welcome to New Africa August. I'll be your host today, Rudy, volunteer coordinator and member of our dynamic sales team here at We by Black. Today's theme, you already know, is Forbes the Culture, featuring one of the greatest members of the network, my brother, my boy here, Bright Jaja, coming to you straight out of Nigeria, coming to you straight from the motherland himself. I'm excited for you all to hear from him today. Very, very, very talented young man, doing a lot for our community, a lot for the world, as well as history. I could go all day about him, but I'm going to give him this time to share with you guys a little bit what we're going to be talking about today. So, without further ado, Bright Jaja, I'm going to give you the floor, brother.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here and to be able to share my experience and knowledge with the family. But first of all, if you are Black, I want you guys to do this and just go quiet to the chest, Wakanda forever, because it's real. And it's
definitely real.
And it's here, and I'm living in it, and each and every one of us also are living in it. And that's the conversation today. We're going to talk about, the amazing opportunities in Africa. I would like to really focus more on the opportunities and more on the things that we can do than focus on the past, on the things that have been done to us. So for me, I'm more about positivity. I'm more about how do we move forward? What can we do next? What are the advantages that we can take to get to where we're supposed to be, not to keep talking about where we were and how that has affected us. How do we move forward? That's what the conversation is going to lead to today. So I'm just going to get back to you, and let's just chat about this.
Let's go. Right. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Yeah. So for those who are new to Bright Jaja, let them know a good introduction of who you are. Tell us more about you.
Okay, my name is Bright Jaja. I'm the CEO and founder of ICreate Africa, and ICreate Africa basically it's a movement. I wouldn't say it's a company. It's a movement that's focused on empowering young Africans to take advantage of the limitless resources. So what we're doing, we're empowering them with skills, with information and understanding. And we're changing their mindset and making them understand that they are powerful and doing extraordinary things. And so for us, we believe that the future of Africa and the future of the world is Africa, and the future of Africa is in the hands of the young people. And so it's our job. It's our job to make sure that the next generation don't ask the same question that we are asking right now. And the next generation don't stand and raise their hands and want to protest and say anything. They just want to make sure that we are the last generation that will go through all of that and make sure that the next generation experience, the Wakanda that we believe that is real, and we are the one to create it. We are the one to bring it into existence, and that's what Africa does. I was listed on Forbes Under 30 in 2019 last year for the work that we've been doing out here in Africa, and basically, I'm just the guy that just want to make the world a better place. That's it. Like, there's nothing elaborating or interesting about me apart from the fact that I'm passionate about young Black people, and I want to make sure that they take the rightful position in every affairs of life. That's it.
Oh man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So I definitely want to tap more into that while we can. So I know you mentioned that you're focusing on the current generation right now. So let's talk about that. So I know currently, there's a lot of teachings, product of your environment, things being genetic. So from what you're really looking to accomplish, when it comes to that generation or age group, from what's been passed to us, whether it be from our elders to even now, what does that impact really look like when it comes to, I will start with our generation before we go to the older, or if you want to start with the older generation, then you can, however you feel.
I'll start with the older generation, and I think I tweeted something a while back. I'm trying to remember what the tweet was, but it was about a failing generation, failed the generation that is failing our generation. The question is, are we going to let our failing generation fail the next generation?
Right.
And I don't know what your answer is to that question, right? My answer is hell no. It's not gonna happen. We're
Right.
not. No, I know that we're in a position where we're struggling. There's no doubt because of what has been passed on. And I wouldn't blame the generation before that because they felt like it was okay. And there was, as long as you can make ends meet within your family, then you're good.
Right.
But what you don't understand is as long as you're Black, it doesn't matter how wealthy you are or how wealthy you become,
right.
that stigma is in your skin. That's what they see. Until your race is empowered, you are never going to be seen as relevant. And that's my perspective now. I'm not saying anybody to accept that. Everybody should accept that. Right. But just imagine now just imagine this for a second. I want you guys listening, really, because we need, this conversation is between all of us, and we need to practicalize to get into the conversation. So I know you guys are not here to talk about it, but I want you guys to take a second. If you've seen Wakanda, Black Panther, please just give us a sign in the chat session. If you've seen, just raise your hands, wave your hands, give us some kind of signal. If you've seen the movie Black Panther, just wave your hands, right? So we know that yeah, that's what I want to see. Let's know the people that have seen the movie first of all before I say the next thing. Good.
Okay.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah, I see a lot of yes. Everybody, right?
I'm sure everybody has seen that movie, right? Now, right. for a second, right? Just take a moment, right? And imagine if that movie that you saw was actually real. Now, I don't want you to just browse through it. I need you to just really just settle it in, just the way you think of France, and you think of London, and you think of America, you think of Miami, you think of Dubai, you think of China, you see all the development, everything going on there. Imagine if Wakanda was real like that in Africa. Now, when you imagine, I'm sure you've seen the movie, you know how hyped and how amazing from the resources, from how, you know, the Black Panthers stood in the middle of the United Nations and said, okay, we have decided to help the world, to expose our technology to the world. I want you to imagine that now. Now that you've imagined that, give me a second and think, if that was real, how do you think the world would treat Black people?
Right.
Whether poor or rich, whether wealthy or not, whether educated or uneducated, how do you think the world would treat Black people if that movie was real, if that was our reality?
Right.
It will be different. You can answer the question for yourself. It will be different. We will be treated with more respect. We will be treated with more reverence. We will be appreciated. Our presence would change an atmosphere anywhere we go. We will not be seen as, you know, hoodlums or the guys that are about to rob somebody, or the guys. You won't be seen that way.
Those stereotypes.
Yeah. So there's no stereotype when you. The only thing that you're gonna see that wealth, that knowledge, that power. That's all you're going to see. But when you look at Africa right now, when you look at the continent right now, because I know a lot of you have never been here, and a lot of you have just gone to Google and just checked a couple of things. What you see online is what, if you've never been here, that's what you're going to take as the reality, right? So a lot of you, because you've never been here, so you don't really have that experience, what you see online is what you represent, is what people see when they see you. And what do they see online? Malnutrition, poverty, a lot of all these things that are not pleasant. If you just Google Africa right now, you probably see a couple of art and then all of that. You won't see skyscrapers or blue waters, or you won't see those things. Even if they're here, Africa is beautiful. It's amazing. But they don't put that online because they don't want you to see that. They don't want people to see that, because when they see that, they start treating you different. But that's not the focus for today, right? So this is a shift from one generation to another. And it started from the beginning, where we were sold a kind of education that cannot leverage, that does not suit our environment and culture. Right. We were sold what we call the Western education.
Mm-hmm.
We were sold a reality of success as white collar.
Mm.
Success is when you are working in a bank and you wear a suit and a tie.
Right.
And that reality does not suit our culture. It does not help us leverage on our resources. And there's a reason behind that. There was a whole strategy behind that, because once we can leverage on our own resources, then we will build Africa. But resources is what is actually needed. It's the gold that is needed. So when you think of vibranium, we have the gold. We have all, think about it. Africa is blessed with limitless resources, right? So that is what's in their head. That's what they wanted. So moving our focus from what is actually relevant to an education system. And education is everything. Education is everything. And that's the reason why back in the days, they didn't allow the slaves to read, because once you're empowered with information, and that you become right. So the educational system that we still use till date, I'm not even saying something that happened till date, does not empower African youth or Africans to leverage on the resources that's available. Because at the end of the day, what happens is this resources is being taken away. It's been sold. They come in to buy these resources because we don't know how to use it. We don't know how to use the iron. We don't know how to use any of this thing. We don't know how to make an iPhone out of the resources that we have. We don't know how to make a laptop, but every single thing that they produce, the natural resources comes from here. But the moment we understand how to leverage on that, then there's a switch, which means we control the resources, we control the production, we control the wealth. And that has been affected from the very, very, very beginning, from generation and passed on. So our parents are so focused on you going to school, getting a degree, and getting a white collar job, and that's how they call you successful. Nobody wants to become a farmer. Nobody wants to become a fisherman. Nobody wants to become anything else but a white collar job. And people that are not in that industry are considered either less privileged or uneducated. Now, while I was growing up in school, they taught us something, and that I think it was later in my life that I discovered that really. So basically, in economics, there's what they call skilled and unskilled. Now, under the skilled category, you find lawyers, doctors, bankers, and all of that profession. They call it professional jobs. And then under the unskilled, you find mechanics, engineers, plumbers, you find farmers, you find carpenters, and they call that unskilled. But in the reality, the skilled are the ones who actually use their hands to create. And that's what Africa was known for. We used our hands to create things. We use our hands to make things. We go to the farm, we cut out woods, and we design things. We made art, we made boats, we made a lot of amazing things by ourselves with the education that we have, with the natural education that we have. And that was rubbed off away from us with the whole narrative of, oh, you're uneducated if you don't know how to speak English. English is not my first language. English is not my language, right? But I had to learn how to speak English for me to be able to be considered as educated. Why would I have to speak English to be considered as educated if I'm not from England?
Right. Hey, and I want to throw this in there because we got a question from the comments. They asked, I understand that representation matters, but who is they? Black people can't do that themselves, can they? What do you think regarding books? A lot of books already show how great we can be. Do people read them? And you can probably answer that before you go into more so of the younger generation a little bit more. But what do you think about that?
Now, like I said when we started, I don't want to focus so much on the past, right? I want to focus on the future, what we can do. Now, we know that there were slave masters. Over 9 million Africans were taken away from here. We were introduced to education. We were introduced. I mean, the whole of Nigeria was bought. It was literally owned by one person. It was Nigeria. The name Nigeria came from someone. I mean, I don't want to go too much.
No, you're fine.
I mean, if you go back to history, it's all in there. You can just Google it. It's all in there. we were colonized by the British, right? We are in the position that our political system is the American system. Do you understand? Like, we don't have anything original that is ours. And right now, it is so deep within our mindset and our mentality that we do not even believe that our own ideas are good enough. Do you know how deep that is? When you have an idea that is amazing, but you have to go Google it to be sure that somebody else is doing it in Europe for you to confirm that it's working.
Right.
You can't really say, "Oh, this is me. This is original." You are so you don't even, you can't even, like, we're so deep into that mentality that we don't even appreciate what we create by ourselves anymore. If it's not coming from the West, if it's not coming from China, if it's not coming from Europe, then it's not original. It's not good enough.
Right.
That's the problem. That's deep rooted. Right. So, like I said, let's move forward into the future. That has happened. That generation has gone, and the next generation have carried on. Now we can decide, like I said earlier, to continue the circle, or we can break it. But we don't break it by violence or by, talking about problems. No, we break it by empowering our minds with the right information. We break it by understanding that Wakanda is in us. It's living, it's breathing, the vibranium, the power is in us. I'm going to give you a quick example. I don't know how many of you are religious or read the Bible. There's a story in the Bible that's really, really amazing, that really got my attention when I was thinking about this whole thing. And it was the time where the Israelites were trying to get into the land of Canaan, right? And they sent spies to go check it out. I don't know if you know that. You know that story in the Bible? Yeah. So, and then they sent spies to go check it out. And when the spies got there, they came back with a report that, it's crazy. We saw giants. We saw huge people. And the grape is the size of somebody's head. The grapes, the grape size of somebody's head, right?
Right.
And I'm looking at it from a technical perspective, right?
Yeah.
Why is the grape the size of someone's head? Why is it not the same grapes that you find in every places?
Right.
It shows that when God designed the world, he made sure that the environment and the ecosystem suits the people. Because they were giants, the land grew different kinds of grapes to feed the people. And once you take the
your signal.
giant out of that, the grapes are not dark. That right there summarizes this conversation. I'm telling you that they took a lot of young people who are grounded, who their environment, their ecosystem suit their knowledge and understanding. They could have created the best of the best in every area within their space. But because they took them out of that space, they had to struggle, and they're still struggling till this day. And now I'm talking about people that were taken away. What about people that are still here? And the people that are still here, they give them a different kind of information to make them understand that grape is not for you. That is not important. What I need you to do is to do something else.
Right.
And then so even the natural instinct that comes with your ecosystem was rubbed off with the new information. And that's how we start losing that connection. So the greatest part of this conversation is this. We now understand where the problem is. The first step of solving a problem is understanding that it exists. 1, 2, is understanding what it is. Now we know what the problem is. How can we switch the plug? How can we make sure that our young people, our next generation, with which some of you are fathers and mothers, how do you make sure that your kids are not on the same path? How do you make sure that you empower your young children, your kids, about where they're coming from, about the role that they have to play to make sure that they empower where they're coming from, right? And I think that's where the conversation is right now. So I'm just gonna get it back to you.
No, man, no, that was good because you're rolling into a lot of. I feel I've seen some people in the comments saying how, and that was gonna really kind of move into the next question. So I know you mentioned 9 million earlier when you were speaking. So that kind of took me in that 400, setting the precedent energy. So I wanted to really get your your take, because I know you're really working heavily on the issue with providing solutions. So when it comes to ICreate Africa, I want to know from you, when it comes to, let's just say with 1 year into the next 400 years. So last year kind of made it 400 years since out of slavery, since it came. And then now within the next 400 years, from your 1 year within the next 400 years, how have you gone about taking on that how? And you can let us know a little bit more about how ICreate Africa. I know you have ICreate, ICreate Skill Magazine. You have a lot of things going on that you're really, pushing to touch the youth. So just kind of let us know,
Okay, so basically, like I said, the foundation and the ideology behind ICreate Africa is to break the cycle. Is to identify what young people, what our ecosystem and our natural resources require to leverage and empower the young people with that skills to make sure that they're able to leverage on that on the natural resources. And for us, it's been an amazing journey and also a difficult one, because we're talking about mentality and we're talking about mindsets. And it takes a lot. And that's the reason why we have the Skills Magazine. We're trying so hard to get on social media, get the conversation up. Not just talking about, race or any of that. It's just basically, we just want to empower ourselves with the information that actually helps us grow. And we need to find this information. We might not find most of them on Google, but we need to find this information that would help us grow. So for us, it's been about how we can change that narrative. How we can get young Black men and women to understand that they are the solution to the problem. How we can make them understand that the role that they play at this time is more important than the role that they've ever played in their entire life. How we can make them understand that the future of the next generation, which had nothing to do with the color of their skin or where they or the part of the world that they were supposed to end up in, which have no decision to make. It's our responsibility to make sure that they live an equal life with everybody else. Right. So this is on us. When the British came to colonize Africa, they had an agenda. And it worked for them. We need to have our own agenda to empower ourselves and make sure that it works. I mean, it works for them to a point where it's still affecting generations to come. How can we make sure that our decision right now would positively affect generations to come? So we do this through different innovative means. We design a skills competition where we bring young people to come and showcase their technical and vocational skill trades. We have a training platform where we train them on, and we recently just launched a digital marketplace, just like We Buy Black, but for service-based engineers and plumbers and tilers and graphic designers. So our goal for that is to make sure that we're able to connect our brothers and sisters from all over the world to invest back in the young people here, because at the end of the day, it's about economics, right? If you're not empowered, if you don't have resources, you don't have a voice. Right. And that has been my conversation. My conversation has been the role, and somebody asked, how can we change this? The role that African Americans and Africans across the world can play is to find every single means that they can to invest back in Africa. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we are the answers to the questions that have been asked. We are the one that change, that we are the one that break the cycle and draw another one that will benefit our generation round and round and round, even when we're not here. And so that's where it comes into play. We need to start investing back home. So we have designed the Skillers platform where if you want a graphic designer to design a product for you somewhere, you can actually, go on the platform and get a graphic designer, because right now we're all working remotely. And this graphic designer can design your logo. You want a web designer, you want a mobile a mobile developer, an app developer. We have all of these young Africans which we have trained, and now we're positioning for them to be able to have resources. And with that resources, that gives them a voice to be able to make change within their community. So what we're doing is we're identifying young people who are amazing at what they do. We're positioning them, and we're telling everybody else from across the world, empower young people, empower Africans, invest in Africa. Have 53 countries. You can choose anyone you want to invest in. We are the only people that would invest in Africa without a motive, without an interior motive. I can tell you for free, China is taking over right now. I can tell you, I don't know how much research you guys are doing, but China is giving out loans to African countries, and loans that they cannot pay back, and they're taking over their land space, taking over their resources, taking over their infrastructure. Yeah, that's happening right now. I mean, you can do a research on that.
Yeah, China I heard about it a while back. I heard it was going on.
Yeah, so it's happening right now. So the only thing that you always go back to when you say, oh, you're an African American, the Africa part of you is literally in trouble right now, because all the countries are coming here to invest and to give African countries loans that they cannot pay back, and because of the corruption within the system, because everybody is struggling for that little resources when it comes to not the natural resources, but the resources when it comes to the cash that comes into the system by either development agencies or countries, taking loans and all of that stuff. And the corruption doesn't really make them use that money for the purpose to develop the country. But at the end of the day, we're not in that position. I'm not in a political position to make decisions. But what I can do in my own space is to use my ideas and use my platform to create opportunities for young people. And also, what you can do in your space wherever you are is identify the African country that you know that you're connected with, and identify a small business there. Invest in that business. It might just be $50,000 or $2,000 or $1,000. Invest in that business so that business can grow, because most of the young people here need that resources. And I can tell you for sure, another thing I also need to tell you is most of the small businesses who have the capacity to thrive are selling off. They are literally being bought by VCs, and VC funders are coming in, and these companies are owned by people from different parts of the world. Really? And so for me, we have Black people who are successful across the world. It's time for them to come back home, invest in the young people so they can empower their communities and make sure that the next generation doesn't go through what we went through and what they went through and what our forefathers have gone through.
Bro, mic drop. That was beautiful. I mean, I definitely agree. I want to take some questions from the chat here. Let's see here. I know I've seen someone ask about what books would you recommend? And I think you can see the chats as well if you see some questions in there.
I'm checking it out.
But no, man, I definitely agree. I wanted to, will you name some good books? So I guess we could, if you want to tap into that one.
Sorry, give me a sec. Let's see.
Yep, top 5 books.
So one book that I would recommend is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. If you've not read that book, Go check it out. It's an amazing story that would inspire you. But right now, I think most of the young people are going on YouTube and they're sharing their stories. And, like I think your colleague earlier was saying something about watching Nigerian movies. Just all this information about Africa, please, whenever you're watching a video on YouTube about Africa, make sure it's done by an African. Make sure the video, the narrative is done by an African. Because there's a lot of videos out there where you have BBC come to a particular country, tell the story. Make sure that the story is being told by an African, because that's where you can get the original story. But it should show you the potentials, the endless potentials of Africa as a continent, and also the people that are here who are beyond amazing. I mean, look at the African American doing amazing things in America. I mean, everybody else from LeBron James to Beyonce to, the African culture is culture. Like, culture is Africa. Like, do you understand? Like, that's what it is. Like, there's no anything else. When you think of culture, you think of Africa. And so imagine people like that, but there are lots of them here. We are just designed to be amazing and to really do amazing things. But at the same time, our system and the system that we live in, even here, because I understand what African Americans are going through all over the world, or what Africans are going through all over the world. But at the same time, even here, it's the same thing. We're going through the same thing, but we're not going through police brutality or all of that stuff. We're just going through mental and economical slavery. And that is deep. Because as long as you don't have economical power, you can never have a voice. You can never be relevant in the system. And that's what we need to do.
Oh, man, that was great, man. Man, you're getting a lot of questions, man. Everybody wants to know something. Well, I guess in the meantime, for those who are just joining, you can not reintroduce yourself, but kind of let everybody know where they can follow you before we continue.
Yeah, my Instagram is at official Bright Jaja, so you can follow me up. You can send me DMs anytime. I reply my DMs. You can just reach out anytime. I'm always here. Official Bright Jaja.
Official Bright Jaja.
Bright Jaja. Yeah.
Perfect.
Just let you know that I'm the real one.
Okay. No. Perfect. Yeah, man. So I had some questions I want to get back to before we get back to the chat. So I know you've mentioned you were aware of everything that's going on around the world. So I definitely want to know your take on, I know you mentioned a lot about education, a lot about culture, but when it comes to really uniting that that diaspora, for those who live in Africa to really understand America and vice versa. What is your take on that as far as moving forward on where we are today? I know we're in a good position now, but what's your take on really probably with the next 5 years or 10 years, what does that Afro diaspora really look like to you?
I feel like I see a possible, how do I put this? I see people coming back home. I see people coming back home. I think it's already happening. I understand. And I reason with every one of you out there. I understand that home doesn't look like what you're used to, right? And especially when you're coming from a developed system where everything is in place, right? I know that home doesn't look like what it's used to. You can come in here and think somebody's not going to beat the traffic light. That happens. People are going to beat the traffic light and they're not going to get caught. Like that happens over here. Like our system is not that organized. We don't have some of the best infrastructure.
Right.
We don't have the best educational system. We don't have the best health system. We don't have the best political system, which affects everything else that I've just mentioned. That is real, right? I understand that. So I understand, people who are thinking of coming back home and having to change their lives and have to live a certain way. I understand how difficult that would be. But one thing that I know for sure is you have a role to play to change that. You have a role to play to change that. And the role that you play, you might not be able to be the one to enjoy the change, but imagine you were part of a system, a part of a community that made Africa what it's supposed to be, and have your grandkids enjoy it, and have your grandkids come back home because every single thing that I mentioned that is not working is working because you made it happen. Right? Trust me, I have been around the world. I've traveled a lot because of the kind of work that I do, right?
Yeah.
And every single time I travel and I probably talk about, what I'm doing and all of that stuff, I get a lot of offers. Oh, move over here. Oh, we'll cover everything. We have amazing idea, all of that stuff. But I always say no. Now, am I having the best time of my life here? Not really, right? But that's the sacrifice I'm willing to pay to make sure that the next generation and generation after that don't have to go through the things that I went through. Right? I'm not gonna turn back and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just move over. I can move to America. I can move to the UK. I can move to any country I want to go to because I have what it takes to add value in that space. Right. All I have to do to present myself and my portfolio and what I'm able to do. And definitely I'm gonna get a citizenship. But I am taking that responsibility to pay that price of discomfort to make sure that the generations and the generations after that go, enjoy what Africa is supposed to be. Martin Luther King made that sacrifice. A lot of Black men made those sacrifices. They could have lived their lives and just let things go by, but they did not. They rather fought for that freedom. And I think it's our time, it's our turn to do the same, but not do the same by fighting, but do the same by empowering our home country where we're coming from. So yes, I understand, but what my advice to every single diasporan across the world is identify, like I said it earlier, identify an African country and connect with the young people. So, trust me, the entrepreneurship spirit is none like I've ever seen anywhere in the world. Trust me, I've been to Russia, I've been to China, I've been to probably like 6 to 7 or 8 countries in Europe, I've been to America, I've been almost everywhere. I've not seen the resilience, the passion, the drive like it is in African youth. Identify with the African young community. Identify with young people doing something amazing and invest in this. And you're going to make profit because these are businesses that if an investment and resources comes into, it will grow. Right? So the reason why I'm pushing towards Africans doing that is because you would do that with the right motive. Because this is your people. Right? You would do that with the right sense of mind and with the right motive, and that is key. So I understand that you cannot move back and try to get to this system that is not so developed, but you can also work to change it and make it better for the next generation. It's about the next generation for me. I don't know what it is about for you, but every single breath that I take in is about how can I make a change?
Right. And I'll co-sign on that one, man. I know one of the big things that we're big on, especially here at We Buy Black, is just when it comes to impact. That's really the main thing. You could focus on, revenue and getting the economy forward, but just like how you were saying, when it comes to the youth, when you think of those pioneers who came before us, as far as American history, like you mentioned, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, W.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey. When you think of these individuals, you never think about how much money they made. You're always thinking about the impact that they did to history. So I definitely understand what you mean by that, man. I'm gonna get another question.
I would like to ask this real quick. So
go ahead.
In regards of the stereotype in America, is it true that African people in Africa don't like Black people in America?
Yeah, man. What's up with that?
It's funny, man. Yo, we love Black. I don't know if it's Black American, Black Asian, Black Indian. We love Black. We love people. I don't think that's true. I think that's just a narrative. Okay. I don't think that's true.
You're right. It could be a narrative.
Yeah, it's just a narrative. I mean, when I'm out there, I don't feel. I think when I'm out there, I don't feel like I'm even here. That's the crazy thing. I think America is the only place that I go to that I don't feel like I left Nigeria.
Right.
Because Because I'm hanging out with all the brothers and all the sisters. Like, it's like I'm home. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, that's the only place I go to. I mean, when I went to Russia, it was everybody thought I was LeBron James. Like, people were stopping me at the airport and taking pictures with me. I thought I was LeBron James, and I was like, yeah, I am. I'm just the mouth. I'm just the one with the McDermott without the muscle.
The beard.
Yeah.
The beard.
When I have my hair shaved, people think I'm LeBron James. So when I went to Russia for the first time, it was great. From the airport, man, people were like trying to take pictures with me and all of that stuff.
Really?
But I mean, yeah, I'm telling you, like it's crazy.
That's funny.
But when I'm in America, it's like it's home. It's just home. I have a lot of brothers and sisters out there that I love and I will literally give my life for. So I think that's just a narrative. I don't think that's true.
Right.
I don't think that's
right. Hey, that's not going on in Wakanda. That's not going on in Wakanda. That's not going on. Yeah, man. That was great. No, I had a question here. It was a good one. How do we learn to trust one another again? One thing that slavery and colonizing did was put Blacks against one another. How do we move past this mindset, which still seems to be so ingrained and prevalent today? I think you touched on a little bit on this earlier. So I guess if you wanted to.
That's deep. I don't know who asked that question, but whoever you are, man, you were deep.
That was good.
That's deep. That's really, really deep because, man, that's one of the biggest problems, trust.
Right.
And I can tell you for sure that that's happening here. We don't trust each other. And I think, man, the systematic, I marveled at the structure that was put in place. It's so brilliant, right?
Man, I was thinking about that today.
It's so, like, when you really look at the entire structure, it is so brilliant. Right. It was planned, it was designed. And the way it was designed to be generational.
Right.
Once you can touch on the mind, you have everything. Because the mind controls the environment. It's like air.
Right.
And it passes on its attitude, its actions, its flow, its reactions. And it just passes on from one generation to another. Trust, I can tell you that for sure. And I can tell you that's probably one of your biggest reasons why you're like, bringing my money to Africa? Hell nah. You know what I'm saying? It is there. It is there. And it's here also. Because I tweeted something which I almost deleted, but I feel like I should talk about it here because, I mean, I have family here.
Talk about it.
Why is it that when a Black man is wealthy, they say he escaped poverty? Escape, right? The word, escape poverty is always used for Black people. It's just, think about it. It's like, he escaped. That means poverty and Africa are supposed to be husband and wife, like one together. So when you are wealthy, you escaped.
You escape.
Right? Imagine that narrative and how that narrative has become our reality. Right? So I totally get you when it comes to every single thing that happened was meant, the background is a mental structure. And I'm glad that people are beginning to wake up to
really wake.
And that's why that word, you gotta stay woke. Even when you're sleeping, you gotta stay woke. Because that's where it is. It's all in here. When you see a Black man, you feel like you want to take what is yours.
Right.
The first thing you're like, because of that mindset of not enough. We have that mindset of, it's not enough. So we have to struggle for the little that is available. The first thing I learned. And that's one thing, I think that's one of the things that gave me the freedom. I'll just share some of my experience with you guys that gave me that freedom. I see wealth as an endless resource. It's not, it can't be measured. It is beyond, you can't put a number on it. But the mentality that was given to us was it was limited for us. Now, this is how I say wealth. I'll just give you an example. When you take a song, right? One song, that song is 4.5 or 5 megabytes. You put that song online, right? You put that song, upload that song online. 1 billion people download over 1 trillion terabytes or more. I don't know the other names out of that 5 megabytes, and it's still there. It never finishes. Imagine that. You go online and why is it that when you download it, it doesn't like, oh, 5 megabytes and then it's out. Like it's finished. Like somebody just downloaded the 5 megabyte of the song and then you can't find it anymore. But 1 billion people download that song. And if you calculate the amount of time that song has been downloaded, it's like billions of terabytes, but it's still there. That's exactly what wealth is to me. That's the reason why I would never fight another brother because of money. Because I know that where the money is, it doesn't finish. And that is the wealth mentality. That's how they think.
Right.
It's unending, but we operate with the mindset of a bubble. We have limited resources. We have limited
right.
wealth.
If I don't get it now, I'm never going to get it. Let me go ahead and get it.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, let's struggle for it. Oh, this brother is trying to take mine. This brother's trying to take mine. So I will do whatever it takes to make sure that he doesn't get it. You know, you get what I'm saying? That is my mentality. That's the reason why I would never. I don't see it as anything. I see it as water.
Right. Overflow.
More than half of the earth is covered with water. That's wealth to me.
Abundance.
Abundance. Everybody have access to it. So the first step of trust, it begins with you understanding that nobody can take what is yours.
What's for you is for you.
What's for you is for you. Nobody can take what is yours. And that was the thing. That was the mindset that was switched. That, oh, if they take it from you, that's it. Oh, right. You got to struggle to get it. Oh, you have to work and go through the pain and through the struggle for you to be able to make it. But that's not true. That's not true. And that mentality becomes your reality because your mindset is who you are. It's what you are. It's what you become.
Right.
So the first step is to gain our trust and trust each other again, is to change that mindset of not enough. There is more than enough. We just have to have that within us. Understand that within us, that our existence, every single day when you breathe, that is wealth. That's what wealth is. Wealth is not how much you make, or how much car, how much house you live in. Wealth is life, and we all have that in abundance. That's what it is. I'll give you a quick example. I was in Dubai one time, crazy, and I was in the cab, and this guy, I think he's from Pakistan or something, I don't know where, and he's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Nigeria," and he's like, "Oh, well, where you have plenty poor people?" I'm like, "What do you mean poor people?" You just said we have poor people in Nigeria. I'm like, why do you say that? It's like, it's just what we see on the news. Right. African poor people. I'm like, so you think I'm poor? It's like, I'm not saying you're poor. I'm just saying that's the narrative. I'm like, are you poor? It's like, no, he now said, oh, just like Pakistan. So he tried to balance it so I don't get mad. It's like, oh, just like Pakistan, we're also poor. And I'm like, so you think you're poor? He said, yes, I'm poor. I don't have money. That's why I'm driving a cab. I'm like, so the reason why you're driving a cab is because you're poor. So yeah. Yes. I wish I recorded every single day. I wish I recorded the conversation. And I'm like, okay, I'm from Nigeria and I'm wealthy. I have a lot of money, right? But I'm here in Dubai because I'm here for medical. I have a medical issue. My kidney is not working, so I need a kidney. I'm literally here to do a kidney transplant. But listen, I'm willing to give you all my money, all of it, if you will go to the hospital with me to check if our kidney matches.
You told him this?
And dude is like, what? I'm like, for real? you say you don't have money, right? But you have a kidney that's working. Mine is not working and I have money. So I'm going to give you all my money.
All my money.
So I can just live. I just want to live, right? Like, I don't really care about the money that I have. I just want to live. Right. And he's like, no. I'm like, but you say you're broke and you want money. So why are you saying no? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're wealthy. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll tell you. You are wealthy. You're willing to not take the money I'm willing to give you because you have life. And that is wealth. You're not driving a cab because you're poor. You're driving a cab because you're solving a problem. You're taking me from one place to another.
Right.
You're solving a problem. You're not driving a cab because you're poor. The dude was literally crying in the car.
Whoa.
He was like, he has never seen it from that perspective. I'm like, you have to wake up every morning and just be grateful to God for life. Because if air was monetized, none of us would be alive. The least we're going to be thinking about is the car that we drive or the house that we live in. If we have to buy oxygen and you have that for free, we focus so much on the things that we don't have that we forget the things that we have that we cannot afford.
That's a word right there.
That we cannot afford. We forget about it. We don't think about it, and we chase wealth and all of that stuff. So that mentality of just being happy and being grateful and being content with what you have, which is life, brings abundance. Because out of the abundance of gratefulness is where ideas and solutions comes from. Ideas from a troubled mind. Africa needs to change the way they think. They need to stop being angry and stop being troubled. Just focus on the things that you cannot live without. Focus on the things that you have, that there's no amount of money that can buy these things. And be grateful for life. That's it. I hope I've been able to answer that question.
Oh man, they going bananas, man, in here. You did great response, man. I definitely agree. We got a lot of questions. I want to touch on a few more. What was that question? It was about buying black. You see it in the chat? It was about how to buy black. How can we go about that?
Oh, sorry, come again?
What you need to understand. I'm just looking for a question for you that I saw that was really good. Let me get back to the comment. Did you see a question you like?
No, I'm going through it right now. I'm just getting
more. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. How do you define buying black? So far, I hear a lot of technical solutions. What about the cultural ones? As long as we are not a community, we will always have difficulties to buy black. Community equals shared culture. Jews, Chinese people share culture. Black people don't.
That has a lot to do with it's exactly what he said and what the last question was, which is the division in our minds. Makes us feel like we're enemies instead of families.
Family.
Makes us feel like we have to struggle for the little that's available instead of understanding that we have more than enough and we are well positioned to take advantage of what is available.
Right. Yeah.
And it's crazy how I love what you guys do. I mean, I don't think I've said it, but we buy black. It's the same thing that I'm saying. We have to stop with the mindset that wearing a Gucci is what makes you appreciable or appreciated. If there's a word like that, appreciable. But yeah, appreciated. Like, just accepted, or wearing Versace is what makes you accepted. No, look, I don't care whether I'm standing in front of the president. This is how I dress. This is my culture, right? This is an attire that represents Africa. I everywhere I walk into, it's not the clothes that I wear, it's what I have in my head, it's what I have upstairs. It's what I say and the things I'm able to do that makes people accept me. Right. The Gucci or the Versace cannot define me. Right. It's what I have. And that's where we need to get to. We need to get to a point where we stop bringing down. One thing that I've discovered about us Black people is we don't know how to lift each other up. rather we bring each other down. It's like, why would he be there and I'm not? Why? What is different? What is so important about him? What is special about you? Why would you want to? Why do you think you're different? And we work towards bringing each other down instead of lifting each other up. I am pleading, and I understand where this is coming from. Like I said, it is the mindset. It is the narrative that has been sold to us, and it's deep rooted. And I understand that. But I'm pleading with each and every one of us, and we have 141 people here. We can make a change. We can be different. We can see the next brother and just give him a hug and just say, I love you and I appreciate you. I appreciate your existence. Because it's the growth of that brother that determines how we're perceived around the world. Right. So it's important that we start appreciating our own, that we start appreciating our own original ideas. It might not be flamboyant or luxurious, but it's our own. That's what makes it special. You see, I can go to the best restaurant in the world and eat the best food, but when I come back home and I eat my mom's food, it's my mom's food. It doesn't matter where she cooked it. It doesn't matter how she cooked it. It doesn't matter if she used firewood from the farm. It's my mom's food, man. And it doesn't taste like anything else because it's my mom's food. So it might not be luxurious, it might not be out there, but we are the one that makes it what it's supposed to be. We have to start patronizing our own. We have to start. I'm not saying this to say, you know, there's a division between race. No, I'm saying this to make you understand that we're backwards. We are backwards, and we need to catch up and be on the same level. We're not saying we want to take over the world. Just saying we're really, really backwards, and we need to catch up with the rest of the world and be able to have that discussion on the highest level. So it is important that we support Black businesses to grow so we can catch up with the Gucci and the Versace. It's important that we invest our resources back in Africa. A lot of young tech businesses and different ideas, from packaging food and to exporting some of these things back in America and across the world. It's important that we support each other as much as we can.
Oh man, that was great, man. That was great. I know we're coming up on our on 1 hour, so I'm gonna get one more question, man, and then we'll kind of have some closing remarks. So let me go here.
This has been amazing.
Yeah, we can get a few more if you like, but I definitely want to respect everyone's time. But still, if you see one, you can definitely grab it. Okay, I like this one.
I like Michelle. Is it Michelle or Dilo? Dilo, man, and everybody, please, man, you got to go back home. You got to go back and check African culture, understand it, know about it. I'm tired of you guys asking me, oh, where are you from? Africa. Africa is not a country. Africa is a country. It breaks my heart when a brother is asking, saying, oh, you're from Africa. No, I'm from Nigeria. Africa is a continent. Right. Africa is 53 countries, not just one. It's a country. It's a lot of, there's a lot of countries in here. You got to know the different countries. You got to know their cultures. My country alone has 258 tribes. So imagine how different you know, our culture and our language and the way we speak, and we took all of that and put it behind us. Oh, let's learn English language.
Right.
So imagine, we have 258 tribes speaking over 300 languages just in Nigeria. I'm not talking about Togo or Ghana or South Africa or Kenya and the rest of them. Amazing. So you guys definitely need to go back and know more about African.
Yeah, most definitely. So I think I got a question. I could probably tie in a little bit with everyone was asking. I saw a question about this community. So I know, you know, we're here in America, We Buy Black. There's a lot going on out here in America, of course, even since its inception. But I would like to know, when it comes to how African Americans here can really start by investing in Africa. So I saw some questions earlier that were asking about how to approach, small businesses in Africa, or, I know you mentioned tribes, but when it comes to how us here in America can start like today, tomorrow, what would your advice be with the very next step to investing in Africa so we can go ahead and get that Wakanda in motion?
I like.
Well, it's in motion, but in sustain.
I like that. First of all, let's start with the closest one. The closest one is Buy Black within your communities. Go to Buy Black and purchase your products and everything. And every single small business that's within you that's run by a Black person, patronize them instead. You might not get, like I said, the sacrifice is for us to get the business that you patronize. You have to start by dealing with the discomfort that you might not get from them at the moment. But that's how they're able to grow. Because if you ignore them and say, oh, there's small time, they don't really have the kind of things that I want, so I'm gonna just go to this store and because they have everything, they would never have everything. These guys will never grow to that store because at some point people supported that store to get it to where it is. So you might not get the greatest service, you might not get the best service, but the thing that you get is the fact that you're investing in something that would affect generations to come. And it's okay. It's okay to make the sacrifice. It's not so much of a sacrifice to make. It's just okay to make the sacrifice, right? So that's one. So start by investing or supporting Black businesses within your communities and within your zones. Now, the next thing is if you're interested to take it further to see how you can start investing in Africa. You can start by identifying some of the small businesses on Instagram. Instagram is a place right now where you find everything, right? And there's a lot of small businesses on Instagram, from the guys that make really, really nice shoes to the guys that make things that I wear like this. Imagine everybody out there wearing
this. I'm about to get one. I might wear that next week.
Yeah, I was at the Forbes Under 30 event. Everybody was like, yo, this guy's probably a prince or something. Like, everybody's coming towards me because I'm just like, and they were like, yo, you got to hook me up. You got to hook me up. So I went to the House of Rep in Michigan, to the State House, and I met with the what do they call it? I met with a couple of House of Rep members, and they were just like, wow, I want to take a picture with you. We like what you're wearing. This is really, really amazing. So this represents Africa. And there's a lot of people out there from Africa on Instagram, so just find them, identify with them. Don't just go on Google or go on YouTube to watch Africa. No, make them your friends. Get to understand, chat up with them. Oh, hey, what's up, man? My name is this. I'm trying to just connect. What's up with you? Tell me about your product. Tell me this. How can I be part of what you do? That's how it goes. It's on social media. Everybody is there right now. People from all over the world are on social media. So if you need to start identifying with other young people on social media from Africa, especially the ones doing amazing things, and have conversations with them, get the direct connection. The reason why you're getting this out of me is because I'm here and I'm sharing. And it's a lot of young people who understand this, who are going through different challenges, and they're able to share that experience also. So connect by contacting, go into somebody's DM and be like, yo, I see what you're doing. I really, really love to connect with you. Can we get on WhatsApp? Let's talk. How can I support this? How can I be part of this? It's as easy as even saying, yo, I'm going to recommend this thing to a couple of my friends over here, and we'll find a way to see how we can get it in. That's how it goes. So this business on social media, you can have conversation with these guys, have a one-on-one. Make sure that you're having a Zoom call so the person is real, so you're not scammed, because there's situations like that. But make sure that you're having conversations with the right people and you're connected. And if you're interested, what we're doing with the Scalers platform also is identifying those young people, really, really curating the ones that we know that are really, really thriving and have the potential to build a global business. We're putting them all on one platform. You can join us on the Scalers platform by just going there and just creating an account as an employer, and then you can go through all these businesses. Every single business there, we can assure, we can tell you that these businesses are they've gone through our process, they've been screened, and we can be an assurance for all of them. So you can go to the Scalers platform. I'm just going to put it on the comment section. Is www.scalers.ng, and all you have to do is to go register as a as an employer, because we have an employer account and we have a skillers account. And with employers account, you can access different skillers. You can send them a message. You can talk to them. You can have conversation with them. These are businesses that you can see their pictures, their images, what they've created. And if you're interested in investing in them, you can just let us know directly, and we can keep, connect you guys together, and then make sure that this whole relationship goes forward. Another thing you can also do is share knowledge. It's key, because one of the things that you have that Africans don't have is the exposure. And so that exchange of knowledge, what if you're someone who have an understanding about digital marketing or a particular skill set, you can also help us by sharing that skills, by training people online. It's skillers with an S. It's skillers with an S. So I'm putting it one more time again. Somebody's getting it wrong. Skillers with an S at the end, .ng. So that knowledge sharing is key, because you're exposed. You've been in an exposed environment, and a lot of young people here are not. What you can also do for us is to share your knowledge. So you have a particular skill set that you want to transfer to an African youth. You can also do that. What we've done also is to create that on our platform. So if you go to the Skillers platform, you will find where you have Skill Up. When you click on Skill Up, there are two things. There are sites for apprenticeship and there are sites for trainers. So if you want to train, just go and sign up as a trainer, fill in your information for us, and we'll connect you to young people that you can train and you can share your knowledge with. You don't see the website?
You said it was Scale Up. You can spell it for everyone. That'll help.
It's Skillers, Skillers. www.skillers.ng. Check this. Is the website on?
SKILLERS.
Yes.
.ng.
Yeah, .ng.
Yep. Yep. We put it in there.
Good. So,
okay.
So that's so you can go to the platform also. There's a lot of young people that like I said, we've taken our time to see that this small business have great potentials. You can also become a trainer, and we can assign young people to you where you can train them on Zoom. You can schedule classes with them, talk to them about marketing, talk to them about any kind of information that you want to share with them. We need your knowledge, we need your information, we need what you've learned, what you know, and that's very important for us. So you can go on the Skillers platform, go on Skill Up, and sign up as a trainer, and we will connect you to young people that you can mentor and help grow. So, and also these young people can also share their experience with you also, and you can get to know more about Africa. They can also teach you languages. You can learn how to speak Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba. Really, really fun.
Oh, really? What?
Also, go to Netflix and watch a lot of Nigerian movies and African movies from South Africa to Kenya. There are a bunch of movies, and we've been doing really well when it comes to entertainment and in Africa. So you can go check that out also. So this is what we're doing.
I can't wait.
Yeah, like I said from the beginning, what we're trying to do is to identify young Africans, position them for the best opportunities, and make sure that they're able to become the change that we want to see.
Man, look, I thank you, man, for being that change, man. Really leading by example. You definitely inspired me. So I definitely look to not just patronize those within my community, but seeing how I can, get abroad and be able to even pass on knowledge. So I definitely don't want to hold, you all too long. I want to leave some remarks as well. Just when it comes to just setting that precedent, man, I feel like it's very important that we understand that just as our people experienced 400 years of whatever it was, all races have experienced 400 years. So, but like you were saying, despite what has happened, it's all about what do we plan to do tomorrow. And I definitely thank you, man, for just creating the platforms that you have created. I thank you, We Buy Black, for providing this platform for you to be able to get your message across. And for all of those who will be tuning in tomorrow, we'll have part 2 of Let's Chat from last Thursday's. Moderator will be Raina Walker, Zakaya, Abdul Salam, Kimberly Lewis, and Tamika Evans. So definitely be sure to check that out. I want to leave some time for you, man, to any last words you want to leave with everyone before we depart.
I would first of all, I really want to thank We Buy Black for doing this. I've been following you guys, and I've seen a lot of people who are just amazing, and you know, just having them share their experiences. This is the best time for us to connect and share with each other.
Thank you.
And you're really doing a great job at that. And creating a platform that promotes other small Black businesses is just amazing. And so really, really, really want to thank you for what you're doing for the culture and for young Black people. To the audience, thank you for staying with us. I hope we didn't bore you guys. Thank you for thank you for just, you know, staying tuned, and thank you for having the inspiration and the eagerness to want to learn and to want to know more. Whichever way, either by listening to me or by joining any of the sessions in the rest of the month, it's important that you get this information, because that's what empowers us. Information. That was one thing that they took away from us. They give us something that wasn't valuable to us. Now it's time for us to learn from each other and train each other and inspire each other. So please, if you can, follow me on social media. I just want to keep talking. I just want to keep having this conversation.
Right.
If you have any question, any point in time, if you want to talk to me about business, or you want to talk to me about how to invest in Africa, the kind of people that you are looking at working with, just connect with me. Send me an Instagram message. We can also do live chats. We can go on WhatsApp. I'm very open to have this conversation anytime, any day. My Facebook is Bright Jaja. It's just Bright Jaja, but my Instagram is official Bright Jaja, and my Twitter is at Jajazy, Jajazy, which is where I just drop random thoughts and that comes into my head. So let's stay connected. Let's stay connected,
yes,
not just
definitely
community, but not just with me, but within the community. Let's stay connected. Let's empower each other. Let's appreciate each other. Let's make that Wakanda, which is in us. Let's bring it into reality, because Wakanda is real.
Real, man. Hey,
it's real.
Hey, I'm in Nigeria. First flight, man. It opened up, man. We're gonna make some things happen, man.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate you,
man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Well, look, man, you get some rest out there, man. I know it's called 1 in the morning, right?
yeah. I think it's about 12 o'clock. It's actually in the morning right now, so I gotta go.
Well, all right, man. I'm gonna let you go, man. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you, Bright, man. Take care, man. See you soon.
Appreciate it.
All right.